Greetings, fellow citizens of Disneyland. Brickey here. Today's adventure, we're going to look at the tickets going on sale. Today might end up being a little bit more of a podcast because if you remember or if you follow along with me when I was out at Touch of Disney last week, I caught a really, really bad sunburn. And I don't know if you want to see me like this. I mean, I don't know. Let me know in the chat. If you guys are cool with seeing a sunburn, then we'll go that way. If you're watching this on demand, the news will start today at 5 o'clock. Sorry, not 5 o'clock. 5 after 1 o'clock. I always enjoy taking the first 5 minutes to talk to everyone in the chat. But what we're going to break down today is some, we'll say, science-based predictions on when these tickets go on sale. Yeah, I know it's weird not seeing me, right? Should I turn the camera on, guys? You let me know if you want the camera on. It's just the sunburn is bad. I mean, really, really bad. You know what? What do I got to hide? I'll turn it on. As I told you guys, I was out of Touch of Disney all week, and I got a really, really bad sunburn. As I was saying, we will be starting the news at 5 after. But yeah, sunburn hype, Gary. You know what's up. You know it's real. So, so yeah. We will be starting our news today at 5 after, but I just couldn't help but hiding away the sunburn for a little bit. Oh, yeah, guys. I've tried everything, but man, oh man, that Touch of Disney being out in the sun for 8 hours. Woo! I tell you. I have to hide my teeth behind the the microphone because they look insane. Not too bad, right, Jeff? Not too bad. This is going to turn into a beautiful tan at some point. I couldn't resist but show you guys the sunburn, right? But it's going to be a beautiful tan. And one day soon, the tan will become a boy. I want to thank everybody for showing up today. I know it's Monday. We'll be doing the live stream. Buy some aloe. Super chat from Believe in the Magic, Serena. Thanks, Serena. I will definitely go buy some aloe with that. Hold on. Maybe I'll DoorDash the aloe. And when it gets here, I'll just put it on and see if it works. Oh, what's that? The aloe just showed up. Let me see if I can get the aloe to work here. Put it on the aloe for that super chat. Thank you so much. Oh, look at that. The sunburn healed itself. You really, really can't discredit the power of aloe when you have a horrible sunburn. Look at that. We're right back. I want to thank everybody for showing up. I'm live streaming a Touch of Disney each and every Thursday. I have 4 more weeks to go. So therefore, we're taking our Friday show, the 13th hour, where we look back at Disneyland news, and we're moving it over to Mondays. I want to thank everybody for showing up on a Monday. I didn't expect anybody to really be here on a Monday. So I'm so happy to see everybody there. Wild Parents, Veronica, Anna B, Crystal Ray, Matt Melka, JT, Katie Baker. You're going to be at the park this Thursday, right? I hope to see you out there. Hope to see some more people. Met so many citizens of Disneyland last week. And I kind of felt like the best thing to do today with the news is talk about what everybody is contemplating. When are these tickets going to go on sale? And so I thought we would break down what that could look like. Now that my sunburns heal, today is going to be an even better day. Oh man, that was fun. All right, let's go ahead and get into the news here. Let me see, where am I at on the time? 4.5. I like to go to 5 minutes so that people that are watching on demand can jump in. Miguel's going to Touch of Disney on Saturday. Dude, I hope you have all the fun that I have. Jeff Pike, my Barney Fife, he just put up Brickey's emotional reaction walkthrough. If you haven't got to see the first thing I did when I went into DCA, this is going to be the first thing I do when I get into Disneyland. I set up the camera and I did a lap shooting what I was seeing, shooting myself. I edited it up for you. So if you want to prepare yourself for emotionally what it might be like, it might be a fun video to watch. All right, what do you say we get into the news? Let's go ahead and break down when are these Disneyland tickets going to go on sale. I have looked back in the past, try to figure out something that we could kind of all like take our a lot of anxiety that we're feeling and apply it to this. So when do tickets go on sale? The ticket process, in my estimation, is probably going to be more web-based than app-based. As we've seen them do dining reservations, Touch of Disney, it seems like they want you to go through the app, but largely you get rerouted to the website. So my expectations would be that this is probably going to be more of a website thing than an app thing. However, and this is the bad news, I do think that there will be an extra layer of time that this will take, because whereas Touch of Disney tickets, you're able to just buy them anonymously. They're not linked up to your Disney account as a member. I do believe that the park tickets will be linked to your profile as a Disney guest. They probably don't want people just throwing these up on eBay or StubHub or things like that and flipping them for like insane amounts of money. So patience. I do believe there will be an extra level of wait time than what we saw from dining reservations to get into Carthay or Lamplight, or the amount of time that we saw to actually get our Touch of Disney tickets. So it will happen in twofold. I mean, I hope that it happens in twofold. This is normally how Disney does everything. There is the announcement. We've already heard the announcement of the date, but there should be, if they go according to old times, although we're in the Wild West, I mean, everything is Frontierland these days. But if they go according to the way they've done things in the past, I would expect that we would get a ticket announcement that would say tickets go on sale this date. I do not believe that these will just fall out of the sky. But caveat for today, everything is possible in 2021, because everything impossible happened in 2020. So then we will get our ticket sale date. So there should be a window between the two where you can plan to get off from work, or make sure you have, the laptop charged up, or, kind of schedule around how all of this is going to work. I would expect that would be the way that it goes. Bree says over in the chat, Brickey, do you really think that they will keep it to Cali residents only? Yes, I do. It will be California only residents, because that is the rules by the state of California. If it were up to Disney, they would do what they did with Touch of Disney and just let anyone roam in. But the state of California was very specific in saying California residents only for theme parks like fully reopening. So if you remember the video I did last week where I did 50 facts about the press release with 100 opinions, it was specifically put in there, until further notice, or as long as we have to, we will be keeping it to California residents only. They sort of put a little bit of language in there that says, friends, we don't want to do this, but them's the rules to get the park reopened. So yes, Breeze, I believe that it will be Southern California residents only until at least we get to one of the higher tiers. If there's a possibility that we get to a higher tier by April 30th, then maybe that never has to go into place. But as of right now, them's are the rules. Okay, let's get in here. When do tickets get announced? So I went into the Disneyland app today. So this is what we're going to look at. We're going to look at when we should get the announcement and when they will actually go on sale. It should be a two-phase process. So today I went into the Disneyland app. As you can see, I did a screenshot. These are 3 screenshots actually stitched together in Photoshop. We have March, which we're dangerously near the end of. We have April, which is the month of the Promised Land reopening. And then, interestingly, we now have a few days into May. When I looked at this last week, the calendar just died at April 28th. This could be 2 things. This could be that the calendar automatically rolls and it adds on dates. As we end one day, another date gets added to the calendar. Or potentially they might be really like focusing in on that opening day weekend, trying to make it a weekend celebration, sort of take, a large amount of people, a large amount of anticipation, and sprinkle it over several days versus just trying to get everybody's hopes concentrated on that opening day. Let's see here. Residents with guests. Now, yeah, Painted Head brings up a good question. Could I buy 4 tickets and could I bring in 3 family members from out of state? I don't think that there's going to be like a sheriff at the gate of Disneyland checking everybody's ID. I believe that this is something that is largely a California thing and not a Disneyland thing. So I'm sure if you guys get creative, you could probably find a way to get in there if you're from out of state. I would, though, advise just abiding by the rules, because let's say if a bunch of people show up that are from out of town, how would that look? You know, I think we should try to make this easy on Disneyland. But then again, I'm coming from the privilege of living 13 miles from the park, and I understand desperate times, desperate measures. But let's look at this calendar right here. When do tickets go on sale? And we'll put the out of state conversation on pause for a minute so we can get this content out to everybody. So there will be, when do tickets get announced? When do tickets go on sale? So if we go with 30 days notice, I have 3 different theories for you. If we go with a 30 days notice, because after all, they do want to book rooms at the Grand Californian, but they did specifically go out of their way to say hotel stay does not guarantee tickets to the park. Therefore, the way that it was worded in last week's press release, they would encourage you that if you get a ticket reservation to then go buy a room at the Grand Californian if you have a ticket and a reservation to get in. So Galaxy's Edge, if you threw money at one of the 3 hotels, you were guaranteed to essentially jump the line and get into Galaxy's Edge on opening day. With the reopening of Disneyland, we're not seeing that be the case. So if they were to do 30 days notice, so people sort of have a month to know if they have tickets to get in, possibly book that hotel room, get everything geared up, that would mean that April 1st would be 30 days out. Now, for 2 reasons, I'm going to predict that April 1st probably doesn't make a lot of sense. And those 2 reasons are, 1, April 1st is April Fool's Day. Why would you make such a huge announcement on a day where people are like, is that really when tickets are going to go on sale? Would that really be the day that tickets will go on sale? That's a prank. I'm not going to abide by that. The second tier, I'm believing that April 1st will not be the day the tickets go on sale, is I don't think that they would want to overlap with Touch of Disney. Touch of Disney will have so many of the hardest of hardcore local residents out at the event putting tickets on sale when you already have people out at the resort. I just seen that being a little bit of a conflict of interest and really unfair to people that were willing to sort of try to get in there early and help the company rebound as quickly as possible. And also, why would you do that when you have 2 days a week, 2 really good days a week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, when most people are paying attention to the news? Internet traffic is very high on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So my prediction would be that if we're going to go into a 30-day heads up, that would put us at tickets going on sale next Tuesday or next Wednesday. That would be the 30th or the 31st. That wouldn't conflict with April Fool's Day, and that wouldn't conflict with people that are out at Touch of Disney that maybe would cancel Touch of Disney to sit in front of their computer to try to get tickets. So if they go with 30 days, so essentially you'd be able to buy your tickets on one of those 2 days, and then you would have a month to plan to possibly buy that hotel room, book those dining reservations. That would mean that the announcement for that, if we're going to follow the idea of what they've been doing so far, all the last week's press release came out before Touch of Disney started. They wanted to get that out on Wednesday, not take away from the newness of Touch of Disney opening up on Thursday. So they squeezed that out right before. If we follow that guideline, then that would mean that the ticket announcement would most likely be tomorrow or Wednesday of this week, if we're going with a 30-day buffer until the park reopens. That would be prediction number 1. But I'm going to tell you why maybe this won't be the case. I hope that it is. This is my favorite. This is my favorite out of the three, right? This is my favorite one out of the three. But everything is moving really, really fast. They probably want to know more of what tier are we going to be at when the park reopens. They have a lot of moving pieces with recertifying cast members, with the unions bringing people back. So, and I hate to do this because this is when people say I'm negative, but I look at this as just being realistic. They did say that it was the planned opening date. April 30th was the planned reopening date. So that date could be a little fluid. It could be a little wild, and maybe, just maybe, telling everybody this week that they're going to sell tickets for next week and that they 100% sure know that what their capacity would be, that everybody's back to work, that everything's recertified. That might give them a little bit of anxiety, and they might want to give themselves a little bit more breathing room because really they know whatever date they throw at us, these tickets are going to go super, super fast. So let's look at tier number 2, a 21 days notice. How would 3 weeks selling tickets 3 weeks before the park, how would that change the rollout? And would they then know, okay, we're 3 weeks away from reopening. We like to see the tiers change in 2 and 3 week patterns out here in Southern California. 3 weeks away might give us an idea of if we hit another tier, we could push out another 10,000, 8,000 tickets. And as I broke down in last week's video, the difference in a yellow tier and the orange tier, the red and the orange, the lowest to the middle, was like 8,000, 10,000 tickets. And I ran very, very loose numbers. And that difference ended up being $24 million a month in gross ticket sales. So 21 days could get them in a better spot. So let's break down what this would look like. That would mean that essentially 21 days out from the opening would be Thursday the 8th. But we're going to go ahead and ignore overlapping with Touch of Disney dates. So the tickets would probably go on sale April 6th or 7th, which feels really, really close if we're going to get in there on the 30th. And therefore, this system would buy them an extra week of just getting everything fine-tuned, just to get the confidence in that they can hit Bobby Chapstick's date on the calendar. And so therefore, maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday, they would say tickets go on sale. This just kind of moves everything up a week. To me, it feels incredibly tight, but hey, we've seen crazy things happen. Let me look at some of your comments over here. Don't want to ignore you. I just want to get these clusters of data out before we get into the next one here. Queen Elsa says, how far ahead did Disney World sell tickets when they reopened? So see, Queen Elsa, that whole system happened. They were 30 days out, 30 plus days, 37 days out from announcing those reopenings last summer. And when Bob Chapek threw out the April 30th date or end of April, he pretty much blew up the timeline that we followed last summer, showing that everything would be way, way more escalated, as I do believe that their big concern is just getting open, because it's easier for California to say delay, delay, delay. But once you're open, to come back and really say, we need you guys to close again, that's a whole different scenario. So I really feel like that's where they're at. But great question, Queen Elsa, because that's what you have to do. You have to look at the math and follow along. Theme Park Sandbox says, I definitely think that they will be hosting some cast, friends, and family before reopening. It's going to take some time to get everything running smoothly. Theme Park Sandbox, I think that you're 100% right. In fact, I know you're 100% right, because in last week's press release, they put out very clearly that cast members and members of the community would be getting into the park before that public opening date. I believe they did this for a couple of reasons. One, so that if you start to see over on Instagram photos of people in Disneyland, or if a cast member would happen to invite a YouTuber out to the park and they live stream early, that happened Touch of Disney. There were people live streaming Touch of Disney during the cast member preview. That way guests would see people inside of the park and understand like, oh, previews are happening, and that would sort of dial down the public outrage. Why are they in there and I'm not in there? Another thing that I believe is when they say members of the public, I took this to be who gets invited to the candlelight procession. people that work with the park at a high level, Wonderground artists, which I used to be one of. I was invited to the candlelight procession, but also Club 33 members. They might take Club 33 members and let them get in there early. Those people pay an enormous amount of money to be club members. They had no club privileges all last year, and they might want to let those folks get in a couple of days early. And in fact, Club 33 members got into Galaxy's Edge the weekend before everyone else did. And if we look at the rollout of Galaxy's Edge, it was cast members. They were able to go in there. Cast members were able to bring a bud or a family member in. And then they did the Club 33 preview, I want to say the Saturday before it opened up for everyone else. And Club 33 members then were allowed to bring in one guest per member. However, I don't know if that will be the case this time. So they put that in there just so that people would know what's going on when they see people that aren't them inside of the park. Ethan says, would they release tickets during Touch of Disney or possibly after? Well, Ethan, we're going to get to that real quick. That's where I'm headed next to. All right, so people are asking about Touch of Disney. Let's get in there. Let's look at Touch of Disney. I feel like Touch of Disney might be our best comparison to reopening Disneyland, because as we know, the world is changing like crazy. And this reopening of theme parks in California kind of blindsided everybody and really came from nowhere. Most analysts were predicting late summer, early fall. And, you know, the guidelines were impossible in October. And then all of a sudden here in March and February, they were way easier to get through. I mean, we literally were supposed to reopen at the highest tier, and now it's down to the second tier. So it was a really big reversal from the state of California. And there's 100 reasons why I could tell you, I could theorize on that. But the closest comparable that we have is Touch of Disney, because this release happened during the times that we're living in right now. So I feel like this is probably the best way to study what this rollout would look like. I personally would love the 30 days heads up, which means today or tomorrow we're going to learn. I could see where the 3 weeks would give them a little bit more breathing room, but this breakdown might be our most realistic look at ticketing. So let's recap. Touch of Disney tickets. They were announced on February 24th. Tickets went on sale March 4th. The event opened on March 18th. So these are really quick timelines. Let's break this down in numbers and get away from the calendar. The event was announced 22 days before the event. So 3 weeks and a day. The tickets went on sale 8 days after. So they gave themselves a week basically to get everybody fired up, get everybody showing up with the web browsers. And then we all remember how that day went. Jay McCoy, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Hi, from Jake and Jay. We met you first day of Touch of Disney. Hope we can meet you again on the reopening of Disneyland. Jay, so awesome to meet you. Thank you for saying hello to me. I love meeting new citizens of Disneyland. Okay, let's get into this last line. So the tickets went on sale 14 days, just 2 weeks away from the event. The reason why this might be our most realistic guideline is 14 days away, 2 weeks away from opening would probably give Disney the most realistic perspective of attendance. Giving them the idea, is it 15% or is it 25%? Or maybe if we get lucky, 35%. And there's a lot of different ways to figure out what that percentage would be. Is it overall landmass? Is it what the fire marshal says capacity is? Is it capacity based on attractions? So would they be encouraged to open more attractions and more shops to get higher capacity? There's a lot of different ways they could get to that number. If I understand how Disney has been pandemic reacting, they will probably go conservative. They will not push the boundaries here. They have been a company that has really been very law abiding and very health abiding. So let's take this fast track, right? Let's take this fast track and apply it to the calendar. What do these numbers look like in reality? Whew, touch of Disney model. This is tight. All right. That means that the announcement would probably happen on the 6th or the 7th, right? 6th or the 7th of April. And we would see tickets go on sale Tuesday the 13th or Wednesday the 14th, therefore not overlapping with that final week of Touch of Disney. Ooh, making it a very, very tight window. And maybe this is by design, because if they can't do out-of-state guests, hey, you give me 2 hours notice. You call me right now and say, Brickey, we need you to come down and test some rides, smoke clouds, right? Like, hey, Brickey, we need you to come down to the park right now, and we need some guests to come out and walk around and test things. That's how fast I'll be there, right? That's how fast I will be there. So therefore, if we follow Touch of Disney, this is really, really tight. Really, really tight. Really, really tight. I have a Fast Pass question over in Club 1313. The question is, sorry, my microphone stands in the way there. It's fine. Does capacity lower when you can't do indoor queue? See, you bring up a great question, JK, and thank you so much for being a member of 1313 and supporting my content. This capacity, how they're going to figure it out, I think Disney's just going to have to go with a very broad internal number. Selling out the park is 80,000 people. They very rarely ever sell out the park at 80,000 people. They're probably just going to just say, okay, if 80,000 is where we're at, 15,000 is safe, and they're going to kind of go with there. I think when you get into every little building and running up the spreadsheet, I mean, I don't know. I don't see California looking to see the spreadsheet. I think if they just gave them over a thing to say, hey, 80,000 is a sellout, we're going to go 15% based off of that, then we will know where it's at. But friends, the point of this video is to try to calm down the anxiety, look at some science, and know that we are within 3 weeks of getting a ticket announcement. Possibly we are within 3 weeks of getting an announcement and already knowing, do we have our next reservation and ticket booked? That's how close we are to everything. I mean, it is coming in, and it is coming in really, really fast. Oswaldo, thank you for giving me props on preparing the slides. I find that a visual element is the best way to see something, to mind map it, to learn it, and to make it feel as if it's reality. Like, it just goes with the way that I learn. I am a horrible reader, a horrible reader. No, Queen Elsa, 80,000 people for Disneyland. Which Elsa? We are 39 days away from getting back into Disneyland. So when we look at the calendar that I showed you, we're under 40 days, friends. We're under 40 days from being back in there. And that means that it's going to happen just so incredibly fast. If they can hit this 30th date, right now it's seeming like everything is gearing towards that they will be able to make this date. And at this moment, they might just be sort of stalling out a little bit to figure out what the two different tiers may look like, so that they can understand, are we putting up this amount of tickets, or are we putting up this amount of tickets, right? Like, waiting a couple of weeks, waiting a couple of days, yeah, it's going to make it very, very tight, but it literally would give them the idea, are we putting an extra 10,000 reservations, 10,000 tickets, and each and every day? Over on the Fast Pass, I have a question from 100. I wonder how far backed up reservations will be for the park. Since our resort is smaller than Walt Disney World, I wonder how soon you can get in once tickets go on sale. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they will add out reservations. Because keep this in mind, they will put reservations out and they will get gobbled up. But if everybody keeps doing their part, wearing a mask, staying physically distant, washing your hands, and getting vaccinated, and we keep getting the numbers going down in California, you might see dates that there's no reservations available that are off in the distance. However, if California hits another tier of safety and we go into a more safe zone in Orange County, you could see a date that was currently blocked out reopen, as they'd have the ability to add in another 10, 15,000 guests for that particular day. So all of this is very fluid. It is a moving target. And I just thought right now, while we're literally potentially on the edge, this would be a really good time to say, hey, here are some dates. Maybe plan your work days accordingly. Maybe plan your expectations, your finances accordingly. Make sure you're following along with Disneyland AP over on Twitter with notifications on. That seems to be the best way to get notifications straight to you. Email's a joke. Their email system's very flawed. We've talked about that several times. So it's going to be a wild ride. You think Big Thunder Mountain was the wildest ride in the wilderness? This is going to be 10 times wilder, so best not remove those tickets. All right, here, my man Chris M says, no way annual pass programs opens with the park. Limited capacity needs to be hard money tickets. What do you think the earliest it could be announced? So Chris M, I completely agree with you, bud. That's my fast pass for Club 1313 members. Okay, let's break down Chris's statement here. Okay, so if you remember a while back, Kenny P. Rocks was asked about reopening the annual pass membership program because they will not call it an annual pass. And I think that is because they don't want people to think we're going to sell you what you used to sold. And Kenny P. Rocks, in his poem told us, if you were to tell me that the park is reopening tomorrow, I would say we wouldn't be ready. But if you were to tell me that the park will be reopening in months, then I would tell you that we would be ready for an annual pass system. I think the bad news and how quickly the rules got changed and how quickly Bob Chapstick said we're shooting for this date, I think that Kenny P. Rocks is in the first part of that statement. They're not going to be ready for an annual pass, which could be very sad for us because if they would have had months, if the park would have reopened by July or later, and they would have done an annual pass program, which they keep calling a membership program. And I really hope that it's not like a Costco thing, like, oh, spend money and you save money on buying tickets. I hope that it is truly something similar to this, but with a much better design because I hate looking like I belong to a kid's fitness center. This is where we may lose out as legacy pass holders. If it would have reopened with a pass program, they would have rolled the dice on, we have 1 million dedicated customers. Let's try to adjust the pricing. Let's get rid of monthly payments. And let's try to get 300,000 of those people to leave us. Let's adjust the money so we would be really good with 700,000 of those million or 600,000 or 500,000. But they never would have known what it would have been like, and they would have just relaunched, and they would have taken every date, and they would have divided the date up into, okay, we have a date. We're going to go with a small number for easy math. We have 10,000 people we can allow in the Disneyland today. Let's give 1,000 of those to resort guests. Let's give 5,000 of those to hard ticket purchasers. And then let's take that back 4,000 and backfill it with APs. That's probably how they would have loved to have done this if they had more time. Where it gets bad for us, with this being really fast and really quickly expedited, they might see the surge of tickets. They might see the surge of what people are willing to pay, and they might track customers, dumbos like me, that are willing to buy hard tickets and come back over and over again. And the fact that it's going this way may push back an annual pass membership program further. It may push it back very far, and it may significantly change the price point. So that's where I'm at with that mindset over there, Chris. I'm looking at logic. Uh, what do I think the earliest a pass could be announced? I would think that if we're going to roll this way, that they would probably say a membership program within the first 90 days. They might just let the summer cycle through. But the reason why I say 90 days and not 6 months or a year like other people predict is you have 1 million people, potentially 1 million people, according to theme park analysts, that are willing to give you an incredible sum of money annually. And you don't want to let that slip through your fingers, which is exactly why Legacy Pass, Legacy Pass, Legacy Pass. The reason why they extended those discounts, the reason why now the Legacy Pass is loaded into the Disneyland app, they don't want to let all of you go. Just some of you they want to let go. So I feel like we will see the membership program way sooner than most people anticipate, because it's just bad business to do that. And I'll explain to you one more time why I think so. But first, let me thank my friend Daphne over in Club 1313 for the super chat. Thank you so much, Daphne, for fitting me into your Monday. I always appreciate you watching the videos and being a bud of mine. The reason why I believe that this will happen much sooner, though, is because they want to keep us engaged. You don't want to let those customers out of your fingertips. You want to keep them as tight as possible, and they won't want to let that drift too far out. And when you get into selling tickets, let's go back to my 10,000, right? So let's say we're at 10,000, but eventually we'll be able to be at like 50,000 people that could go to the park. And at 50,000, you would do, 5,000 people for hotel guests, and then maybe, 25,000 people for buying tickets that day. And then you would backfill that last 20,000 with AP people. But let's say for whatever reason, hotel bookings are a little bit light or ticket sales are light. The things are changing in the world. You never know what's going to happen. Insecure times, or not secure times. I don't know what I'm saying. And let's say that they look and they go, oh, our ticket sales are off for these couple of days. Ticket sales are light. Let's backfill those days. Let's take the 3,000 that we didn't sell on tickets. Let's push it over to annual pass holders, because you can always get a guaranteed gobbling up of members for those dates. So therefore, if the number they try to hit is 50,000 people for a random day in September, they will be able to get there with annual pass holders. If you're light on ticket sales, you can't just flip a switch and magically make more ticket sales unless you get into doing discounts on your ticket sales. And we all know that discounts, it's a bad business move. It doesn't look well. It makes other guests angry. So therefore, I believe that the main purpose of members, trying not to use the word pass holders, but the main purpose of legacy pass holders as future members is it helps them perfectly curate the attendance. And now that they have the for a long time, the governor and the state of California were the big bad wolf, and they were this evil thing that was keeping the park closed. But now, sort of a heroic thing for Disney, because they can go, well, we really, really loved our old pass program, but we had to change with these times, and that's why we're stuck with reservations. But I can tell you this, if COVID ever finally goes away, if the human race can overcome all the different variants and different strains of this disease, and if we don't get hit with another pandemic, those are a lot of ifs, the reservation system will never, ever go away. The reservation system, quite honestly, is the Disneyland version of post 9/11, always having to take your shoes off, always having to have more than one ID or a passport, taking all your stuff, putting it in a tray, and pushing it through a scanner. This is the COVID-19 equivalent to always having air travel be different than what you knew it in the past. Reservations are here to stay, but do not give up hope on being a pass member or being a Disneyland member, whatever the hell they call it, because they will always want a way to stack the deck in their favor. And we are the expendable ones. And I could also see This is my last theory. Then I got some questions for you guys. I want to get to talking to you guys, but I'm trying to stay focused here. Like for my live streams to have as much value as an edited video. I could see there being a thing where if you have a pass of a certain level, that you will be able to essentially be on a standby to where Disney would be able to run the numbers and say, okay, tomorrow or this afternoon, we thought we were going to get at 42% because that's our sweet spot, but we only hit 37%. Let's go over to the app. Let's turn the standby button on. And if you just watch your phone, much like out in Walt Disney World at 1 o'clock, trying to get that second wave of Rise of the Resistance boarding passes, there could be a way you're like, oh, cool. I just hit the app. I just scored standby for this afternoon. Surprise visit to Disneyland. Boom, I'm in. The reservation system gives them such a better control of not overcrowding, but also, and this is very important from Disney's perspective, not underselling. It gives them the zen that I'm sure they've been looking for. Okay. Are you going to wait? I got a live chat here. I've sort of did like what would be a script for a recorded video. I have a live chat here. I'm dying to know, do you have to get on day one? Are you going to wait a little bit? I'm going to be vaccinated by then. So, oh boy, I'm ready to rip. All right. SoCal Magic Express says, can't wait for the parks to open. Let's see. Catching up here. Artie says, stand by, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Yeah, man, you're right there. Dana, a push notification. Could you imagine if you got a notification on your phone that tickets opened up this afternoon? Dana, I could see where all of this perfectly helps them keep the park right where they want it to be. Gary's forced to wait as he's one of our out-of-state citizens of Disneyland. I think the out-of-state thing, friends, is done. Park opens April 30th. I say by June, July at the latest, our out-of-state brothers and sisters are back in. Who I feel the saddest for are our out-of-country citizens of Disneyland, because I think they have much significant hurdles to go over. But I think out-of-state friends, I think you're just going to miss out on that first 30, 60 days when it will be a mess. So I don't think that you're missing out on a lot, but I understand wanting to be there. Shea says, day one, baby. I love that. Jamie says, I'm going as soon as possible. Gian says, I'm going to wait. I'm heading back to work at Legoland. Oh, that's awesome that you work at Legoland. That's very cool. I've never been. Sammy Land says, I may go once before the new pass system opens up. Oh, Sammy, you bring up a good point. If you do want a pass system to open up and you don't have a YouTube channel where it's essential for you to be there to try to keep everything you've worked so hard for, budget. What were you spending before? And don't go over that price point. You know, if you were spending $800 for a pass, don't go wild and spend $3,000 on tickets. You're giving them no incentive to ever bring back a pass. Andrew says, I got a fake Cali ID and I will be vaccinated and I will be there. That's awesome. I will wipe that out of today's conversation. Racer Tom says, day one, he's fast. Nobody's going to get him out of the way. Ethan says, a tent outside the Esplanade if need be. Well, I got bad news for you, Ethan. I don't think tents and the massive lineup, like for those of us that did, Rise of the Resistance on opening day, it is going to be a lockdown. They are not going to entertain people in the Esplanade overnight. I think this is going to be a very different, very, very different sort of crashing, if you will, of a Disney event. I think that it would be a very bad look if when people were going to bed on April 29th, that all the local news was showing the Esplanade and downtown Disney and showing people that were waiting in line over 20 hours, 12 hours to get in Disneyland. That would go against everything that we have been enduring for the last 400 days. It'll be 400 days before the park reopens. So I know you're just being funny, but just sort of looking at all of this and touching it from every angle, that shit's not going to fly this time around. All right, let me see here. Ethan, though, seriously says he would be first weekend would be amazing. I agree. I think opening day is a disaster and everybody's walking around with a camera up. I think if you really want to catch the vibes, you try to go like that Monday. I think that's like probably the best day to go. Charlotte says, I'm vaccinated and ready to go. Thank you, Charlotte, for getting vaccinated. I appreciate it. If we all work together, we will get somewhere together. Let me see here. Queen Elsa. By the way, Queen Elsa, it is so nice to have someone from Arendelle here. Always appreciate when celebrities come by. I'm sure you're crazy busy. I can't believe you have time to watch this dumb thing. When are they going to verify you're a Californian when you buy your ticket? Well, I mean, you're Disney royalty. I don't even know why you care. They're going to let you. I mean, you think they're going to be like, sorry, Elsa, you're from Arendelle. We're not letting you in here today. I mean, come on. Whew. Blow some icicles their way. You're not getting in. I don't know. I would just ask of you, if you are from out of state, try to abide by the rules. I know that there's a small chance that breaking the rules could get Disney into trouble, but we're close. I don't think that rule is going to last very long. I really don't. If everything keeps going the way that it is, out-of-towners will be allowed in, I think in the first couple of months. So let's try not to break the rules, because here's the thing you got to keep in mind about Disney. Disney is such a massive corporation, which makes some people hate them. They're such a squeaky clean operation, which makes some people want to take them down. And if it comes out that Disney guests that, 20%, 30% of them are from out of town or out of state and bringing in, other strains. Like, there are people in the media that would love to slit Disney's throat at every chance they get. As citizens of Disneyland, we should abide by the rules and not give those people more ammunition. I'm off my soapbox. My boy Banjo tells we are not allowed to leave the country. No Disney for me. Well, Banjo, who's one of my favorite commenters, always has such funny things to say. Banjo, I will do my best to be your Disney surrogate. And when I get it on there on day one, I will do just what I did for Touch of Disney. I will go build my camera equipment. I will take a lap. I'm not going to ride anything. I'm not going to eat anything. I will take a lap and film what I'm seeing, filming myself, and try my hardest to give you an experience of what it feels like to walk through there with a friend. That is my promise to all of you that have spent a minute or an hour watching my content. I will do my best to try to bring you in there so that you feel like you're walking through there with a friend. Now, if you hate me and you don't think of me as your friend, that's going to make this complicated. But if you like me, then I'm going to try to do that for you. So here's my next question. DCA tickets. Everybody wants to go to Disneyland, but what about tickets to DCA? Did DCA ruin its stock price by letting us go in there for 5 weeks of 5 days, 25 dates of Touch of Disney tickets? Who will be buying tickets for DCA? If you see the Disneyland's completely gone, like, who is the person that like jumps on and is like, oh, I gotta get that DCA ticket for the 30th. Like, I'm so curious to see how DCA tickets sell over the course of this month. Sammyland, what's DCA? You guys are funny, man. David says DCA equals leftovers. Exactly, David. Federalist, what's up, bud? My perfect trip is 2 days at Disneyland. One at Disneyland and one at DCA. I agree with you. I always tell people when they come in from out of town, try to have 3 days. Do DCA 1 day, take a day off to rest, and then go back to Disneyland and close strong with the magic. Although this time around, everybody just wants to get back into Disneyland. So I'll be very interested to see what happens with DCA tickets. Laney K says 2 days at Disneyland, 1 day at DCA. Speaking as a NorCal resident. Oh, I like that. That's a good 3-day rip. Let's see here. David says $130 for DCA. No thanks. I mean, David, you make a strong case that many of us love DCA because essentially it felt free by being pass holders. But when you look at the hard ticket price for DCA and when it's the same as Disneyland. I don't know how many DCA tickets I will buy. I'm very curious to see what my future in DCA looks like until I become a member again. Let's see here. Liani says, major FOMO. If I was a DCA while everyone was at Disneyland. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's definitely JV, right? It's JV squad. Scott Keisey says, no park hopping makes it rough. Yeah, I mean, let's learn from what we saw at World. World was open for, 60 days, 90 days before they started slowly adding in park hopping. And the problem with the Disneyland selling a park hopping ticket is it's so different than, in World, you would buy a ticket for Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom. And then at 2:00, you were allowed to hop. So essentially they'd have to get, certain amount of people that were willing to buy a DCA ticket. But then at 2:00, if that's when the hop happens, you're going to get a just bombarded Disneyland with maybe a few people that are like, well, let's go hop. And I want to see racers. I want to do, Guardians. I want to do Soarin', but I just feel like the scales would just be at such an uneven level. Let's see here. Andrew over on the Fast Pass. Thank you so much for being a Club 1313 member. Says, I just want Brickey to strap a GoPro on his head. Nah, easy now. I'm not wearing cameras on my human. I have a very nice system, the 2-camera shoot. Watch my video I'll put up Friday if you want to see a very emotional lap around DCA. Scary Gary says, how much Brickey bucks to get you to ride a water ride on opening day? I could always be purchased. You know that. I want to see those churros go directly in. There will be no eating. I will be just giving you guys a emotional lap when I get in there. How dare you? I regret even opening up the Fast Pass for those two jokers. All right, let's see here. KZ, has he announced when tickets go on sale? Crazy with no vowels. I gave you 3 timelines to follow when tickets go on sale. Tickets have not officially been announced. This video in no way is saying an official announcement date. It is showing you the math on when it could go on sale. It is a question, not a statement. Okay, question for everybody in the chat. Where do you go first? I don't even know if I'll be able to respond to all of these, but I would love to see where you go first. What if we buy you a balloon? If you buy me a balloon, I will accept the balloon. And then I will try to pawn it off onto a kid, just like Five Fires did. Gian said, if I knew Disneyland was sold out on the 30th, but tickets were available for DCA, I'd absolutely buy it. Yeah, I get that. I feel like DCA will be like, well, it's better than nothing, kids. I feel like that'll be the way that it goes. Hey, Daphne, thank you so much for giving them that information. I appreciate it. Aaron says aiming for the second week. I like that. JT says don't. Okay, let's see here. Queen Elsa says Rise of the Resistance. Man, I would give anything to ride Rise of the Resistance from Queen Elsa and just see all that ice getting thrown around. Wero says DCA is where they're going first. There you go. I mean, there's a market for everything. Chris Murray saying, I think the popular opinion, Disneyland Railroad, a lot of people just want to take that lap. I feel bad for Walt Disney World because they reopened without a railroad because their railroad is in disarray for the bringing on of Tron. So when people went there, they didn't have a railroad to cruise around. Bree says he wants to do Big Thunder. I believe Big Thunder is going to be where a lot of people want to go. I love this. Andy says just wants to walk around New Orleans Square. Samueland, eat a corn dog first. Nice. I like your style. No Strings says the train. Veronica says Haunted Mansion. Excuse me real quick. Oh, yeah. Mendez says Toad. Would you really, though? I know you love Toad, but would you honestly swear to me on everything that you love in this world that you would really beeline straight to Toad's Hall? I mean, I don't know. I know you love Toad. I know you would fit Toad in on your first visit, but I feel like you would probably hit someplace else. Racer Tom says DCA and Avengers Campus open. I'm in. Avengers Campus will not be opening on opening day. They're going to hold that in their back pocket my estimation would be this fall when that happens. Oh, I like this. Leia says Snow White Enchanted Wish. Anyone? Anybody want to see the new version of Snow White? I mean, I would be inclined to do that on my first day, but me personally, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a lap. I'm going to take a lap. I'm going to film it. I'm going to take you there with me. I'm going to take a lap. And I would do a live stream. I do a live stream when I'm there my first day, no doubt about it. But the first thing I want to ride is Tom Sawyer. I think the train will be a bit of a mess. I want to do Tom Sawyer. I just want to feel that. I'll probably be on the boat just like this. And then after taking that, I'll probably look like Sunburn Brickey, like, wait a minute, there's two of them in here. All right, let's see here. My last question for you guys today and gals, thank you so much for showing up and hanging out with me on a Monday. I really appreciate it. I will be at Touch of Disney this Thursday. I'll be doing a live stream again, and really, really had so much fun going live last week and taking all of you in there. I know that I said I was going to rotate the times for the Touch of Disney live stream, but I'm almost inclined to hit that 6 o'clock hour again to show you guys Magic Hour and the sunset. So if anybody in the chat could give me a better time to go live and a good reason to go so, I'm listening. Queen Elsa says Fantasmic. Fantasmic will not be reopening. There will be no fireworks. There will be no Magic Happens, no Fantasmic, no World of Color. There will be little character cavalcades. They've been training the horses, so you'll probably see characters riding up and down the Main Street transportation vehicles. There will be like what we've seen over at Touch of Disney, like we saw Goofy and Doofus over there on the edge swimming, or not swimming, fishing. We will see characters removed, but there will not be shows like we know it. That's going to probably be a 22 thing that we see. Let's see here. Cute Latin guy shows up doing the Disneyland Railroad all the way with Jeff Pike. Disneyland Railroad is going to be so sick to get back on. I feel like that's an attraction that's going to have a whole new sort of, people have a refound fondness for what the railroad means, and Walt's vision to be able to take a lap all the way around the kingdom there. Kimberly says we have tickets for April 1st. I'm there every Thursday. I'll see you there, Kimberly. Make sure you say hi to me. Let's see here. No strings running. I don't know. Shabam was pretty awesome to see. Didn't expect it for sure, right? No strings running. Shabam was really, really cool to catch live. And if you guys want me, if you guys are cool with me doing the sunset stream again this week, I will 100% be in there to catch that again. Although, the surprise element won't be there. But it is cool that they're doing Shabam, because that is one of the things that made it feel most like the old days. No one said but two, Federalists. You quite observantly picked that up. I mean, I kind of did, because when I say do a lap, I mean walk every single land. Every single land. All right. I will be live this Thursday at Touch of Disney. Ethan says, stay at 6 o'clock to show the crowds compare. That's great. If we do it at 6 o'clock this week, you'll be able to see how it happens. But I will be at Touch of Disney this Thursday. I'll be doing a live stream as well as filming videos that I'll be dropping all throughout the day. Has some really, really fun stuff planned to allow you to see Touch of Disney from other people's perspectives. And if you see me out there, please always say hi. I love meeting new citizens of Disneyland. That's why I do this. I love to try to bring you guys responsible news, and I love meeting so many of you, and I love going live and hearing all of your different conspiracies and thoughts on what we're talking about. All right, I'm going to part ways with you now. Thank you so much for making me a part of your Monday. I really appreciate it. We'll be doing this show on Monday for the next, I believe, 4 weeks, because we are not doing this on Fridays because of the live stream from Touch of Disney on Thursday. Dusty Ray, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that on my way out the door. We missed you Thursday night, Dusty. We missed you on the live stream that we did, but I watch other live streams. I see you're cheating on old man Brickey. That's fine. You want to have other lovers? I'll have other lovers. That's fine. We can go that way, brother. Thank God I don't have to give Dusty that back massage. Thank God. But I do have to buy K-Woo that Dole Whip. All right, everybody. Friends, I will be seeing you so soon inside of a Disney park. Thank you so much for showing up. If you could, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, because every time I'm at the Walt Disney, or every time I'm at Disneyland Resort, I always do a live stream and try my hardest to do live streams where I take you in there with me. Dusty Ray, I accept your apology. I see you're trying to win me back. I accept your apology. All right, friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And let's hope that it's that 30 day and the next 2 days we get a notice and we have plenty of time to calm down. But let's just be good citizens of Disneyland whenever those tickets go on sale. No shenanigans. Friends, until the next time I see you inside the berm of Disneyland, I'll see you back here on the channel with more Disneyland news. Thank you so much for showing up and hanging out with me today. I sincerely appreciate it. I'll see you soon.